Hello everyone, Lars here from Camille's Harem. Not just a podcast for novice writers by novice writers, but also a YouTube channel by novice writers for novice writers. Because writing is an adventure, it's more fun with friends. This video will be the first in a two-parter mini-series about the writing, meaning, and my personal theory behind the games Undertale and Deltarune. Originally, this was going to be an all-in-one video, one that would cut right to the heart of each goal, writing, meaning, and theory. However, I decided to go this particular route, a two-parter, to give each game its proper due and not overburden you, our viewers, like I have in the past with a 30-minute plus long video. Yeah, I did that. I will honestly do that again if such a thing is only absolutely necessary, and I'm honestly doing myself a favor that way too, because editing that much by myself in one go is exhausting! Now, there are two matters I need to address before I proceed. First, this is a channel for aspiring and novice writers. It makes sense that gamers and writers might first question my spending time with these two games when I could be talking about books or simple writing advice. You might also ask yourselves, why am I bothering with a game that no longer holds prominence in the mainstream, such as Undertale, or its lesser-known successor, Deltarune? Well, you, my astute inquisitors, can rest easy with my answer. The story directions of Undertale and Deltarune express the deep feelings and thoughts of authors in an engaging and beautiful narrative, and that needs to be examined and analyzed. The second matter is this, the essence of a theory. You see, theories are born from the personal thoughts and experiences as well as the personal goals of the theorist. The likes of Adam Millard and Matt Pat, to name just a couple of the many of them that are out there, have explored their theories and understandings around the games based very much on who they are, and they have even admitted as much in their own videos, whose videos I will also link down in the description box because I really have to thank them for giving me a lot to chew on. Likewise, the theories you will hear from me about the links between the games and the deeper meaning in Undertale and Deltarune are based largely in my own experiences, thoughts, and goals in my own writing. And it is for that reason that I feel that all well-thought-out theories should be given a fair chance. Yes, even you, Darth Jar Jar. Alright, with that out of the way, let's dive into the meat of the matter, starting with Undertale. For those who have had the chance to play Undertale, there is no denying that Toby Fox delivered one of the most creative, nuanced, and emotional games that has hit the market in years. It rightfully deserves a place in the Valhalla of amazing video games. Plenty of gamers have already voiced their insights and opinions into the game mechanics, the various endings, and the emotional ties people have to the characters, as well as the process of self-discovery on the part of the player. There is just so much that can be said about Undertale that it would be impossible for me to start where so many others have wonderfully articulated what the game means. And I feel, therefore, confident in my foregoing that traditional route and forging my own trail for understanding this landmark game. From a writer's perspective, this game is all about the embodiment of the experience that fans have when they love a story. For anything that we love, from Harry Potter to Mass Effect, from Halo to the Cosmere, and from Fablehaven to Star Trek and Star Wars, we the fans want to be a part of the story, whether that be reading it, watching it, playing it, or creating something for it. We develop unique and personal relationships with the characters, we identify with their struggles, and the stories all involved in this massive narrative inspire us. We find meaning in them. In Undertale, you don't realize that you are playing into all of this until you are nearing the very end of the game. Let's quickly break this down. At the very beginning of the game, we take on the role of Frisk, but we use our own name. In fact, we don't even come to know our own character's real name until the very end. We have self-inserted ourselves into the story. We learn through Flowey in our encounter with Toriel that we have the power to rewrite the entirety of Undertale with our determination. How very clever of Toby to have determination be the factor that drives the story, because we as the fans, the readers, the gamers, determinedly press on through the story. Or in other words, we determinedly rewrite stories that we enjoy or dislike. Our determination in Undertale is a reflection of ourselves. And throughout the story, like fanfiction writers wielding our red ink pens, we determine the destiny of Undertale and its expansive cast. Toby Fox created the world and created all of these characters, but we are the ones moving them like pieces on a chessboard, like Alex Hirsch playing with the lives of our beloved cast of Gravity Falls. Ultimately, we make the final decision to save the world of Undertale, or to destroy it, or to leave it limping uncertainly into the future. And Flowey continues to mock and drive us on, promising us a better ending until we achieve it and realize Toby's vision for this world, or we turn around and murder our way into Shara's cold embrace. And is this not what we the fans demand of the stories that we love? That we can exercise ownership and dominion over something that resonates with us? That we can do whatever we well please? Adam Milliard, in his video about the true meaning of Undertale, delivers a powerful message about what it means for individuals and realizing themselves as they play through Undertale. He describes the Genocide Run as a punishment for those who sought out Gaster and the deeper lore of Undertale. I respectfully disagree with his use of the word punishment. Whether you do a neutral, genocide, or pacifist run, you are rewarded, yes, rewarded, with the ending you wanted. You are rewarded because you made the choice. It was your determination, after all, that brought you there. And either ending, pacifist or genocide, are essential to the overall game because they reveal the two missing halves of a much, much greater story. One of a kind, a benevolent angel, versus the other lost, angry, and destructive angel, both caught in a web of big game players toying with the very fabric of reality. But that is the theory for Deltarune. Have I piqued your interest yet? Coming back to where I began this, how from a writer's perspective, I see this game as a way of embodying the reader's or gamer's experience within a story. I hope you already saw the question that lurks in the shadows of this claim. If you have not already asked yourself, it is this. Lars, how could Toby Fox create a story that represents and plays through the experience of fan immersion when he wasn't even using a previously beloved tale? The answer is quite simple, actually. He wrote amazing characters. Each significant recurring character in Undertale has a brilliant story attached to him or her. Each one has an in-depth backstory, and there are multiple ways to take each character into the future. Even the simple monsters you fight throughout the game or citizens you speak to all have something going on in their lives. Even quick blurbs about walking dogs, getting food, or celebrating some random event gives you critical information into who that individual is. Toby Fox is a master character builder. And just to look at the list, Toriel, who is the exiled queen and grieving mother, Asgore, the lost and depressed king and father, caught between conflicting desires to free his people and secure their safety, but also remain a good person despite what he has to do. Undyne, the warrior with nowhere to go who wants to become the hero of Undertale. Alphys, awkward, lonely, and given a chance to be the hero of the people, but fails in her attempt and hides as a result. Mettaton, undergoing a wonderful self-discovery of himself. Papyrus, a skeleton who wants to join the royal guard and find admiration at long last. And Sans, a skeleton out of time and burdened with the knowledge of what this world truly is. And of course, Azrael and Chara, two dead children, angels of freedom and gods of death, whose friendship and rivalry dance across all known dimensions and timelines. And that is just the main cast! Never mind all the other characters you learn about. If a writer were to sit down and write a choose-your-own-adventure novel with the same in-depth characterization and character study as you find in Undertale, it would be well over 1,000 pages long. To pull off this feat, you would need to know intimately the backgrounds of each character, their motivations, and where each major decision would take them. And each decision would have to create its own series of possibilities, creating yet more possibilities. It would be the ultimate character study. So try that on for size as a challenge. Write a novel version of Undertale. But herein lies some powerful writing advice for all you writers out there. If you want to write powerful, meaningful characters, you must know them. Who they are, where they've been, and where they're going. Consider how their actions and the actions of others around them change their trajectory throughout the story. Readers can tell when a character is simply getting yanked along because the plot demands it. Instead, it is incredible and meaningful to write and read a character whose choices and destiny actually matter, even if they are not the main character. This is how Undertale is both our story as ravenous fans, and how it still remains Toby's story. He knows all these characters intimately. He carefully crafted each and every one of them and how they play into the greater narrative. But he also allows us, the gamers, the readers of his tale, to dictate through our determination what will happen to his cast of characters. He wrote out the different scenarios and endings that we could obtain and made them an experience for us. And whatever direction we chose, it would resonate with us because we were the ones who chose it. From a writer's perspective, this is why Undertale is such an emotional and amazing story. Toby Fox plays around with many themes, but he lets us choose which ones we get to explore. He made this possible through ingeniously and brilliantly written characters. It is an experience that any fan of any franchise can find themselves identifying with. And how can I make this bold claim, even as a novice writer? Well, it's because for the longest time, I had no desire to play Undertale. I honestly was put off by many of the fans who, well, took the story in weird directions. I was honestly frightened by the way that some people tried to cram the story down my throat, who they were explaining characters that I didn't have a chance to get to know for myself. And I saw how they were treating each other on the internet, and I was just like, well, that's not for me. It wasn't until I saw some of the game theorist videos on Deltarune that I decided to go back and give Undertale a chance. And I was immediately sucked in and found that this game was so familiar and so very personal to myself, and I'm not even a gamer. It was as I explored the game and saw how it resonated with others that I began to see what Toby Fox had done. He had created an experience that no matter who you are, where you come from, mirrors your love of a great story and your desire to be part of it. Toby, if you ever see this video and watch it to this point, I tip my proverbial hat to you, good sir. Your story of Undertale is an inspiration to so many people, and it has been an inspiration to this novice writer. But not just because of your amazing characters and compelling storylines, but also because of that epic that is playing out in the background of this game. Because you see, I too am writing an interconnected epic, and this is where Deltarune comes in. But that is for the next video. Next time I will discuss Deltarune's story and how it complements Undertale. But I will also reveal the greater story playing just outside of our reach. And you will hear my theory of how everything ties together, because I believe that Toby Fox has one great story to tell, a meta-epic of the gamer, the creator, and the nuances of well-written characters caught in a literal game of good, evil, and the ambiguity of choice. Until we get to that video, please check out our podcast, Camille's Harem, found on Podbean, iTunes, and Google Play. We have some amazing writing advice for you there, some great camaraderie, and just a lot of great laughs. So please go there for more writing advice and more fun. We also have writing exercises for you to check out on our Pinterest page, art on our Tumblr, and discussions with us, discussions about how we write and discussions of how you write on our subreddit. And please send us links to terrible fanfics via our Twitter at Camille's Harem so we can read them for your enjoyment. Links to all of these sites are in the description. And until the sequel to this video, tschüss.